Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Currently, I'm going to present to you about a case called Punjab National Bank, the Modi fraud system failure or people failure. My name is Kemal Murtada and I'm from IPMI International Business School. Okay, let's go straight to the background of the case. So Punjab National Bank is one of the largest public sector banks in India. The bank was founded in 1894 and has its headquarters in New Delhi, India. PNB has a network of over 7,000 branches in India and overseas. The bank offers a wide range of banking and financial services, including personal banking, corporate banking, agricultural banking, and international banking. PNB has been in the news recently due to a major fraud that was committed by Nirav Modi, a billionaire jeweler, and his associates. The fraud was carried out using fake letters or undertaking called LOAS to obtain loans from PNB's overseas branches. The fraud was discovered in January 2018, and it was found that it had been going on since 2011. The total amount of fraud was estimated to be around $2 billion. The case highlights the systematic failures of PNB's internal control system, which allowed the fraud to go undetected for several years. The bank's management was also criticized for not taking adequate measures to prevent such frauds. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the major problems mentioned in the case. Firstly, it is fraudulent transaction. The major problem in the case was the fraudulent transactions that were carried out by Nirav Modi and his associates using fake LOAS. These transactions were not detected by PNB's international control system, which led to a huge loss for the bank. Secondly, systemic failure. The case highlights the systemic failure of PNB's internal control system, which allowed the fraud to go undetected for several years. The bank's management was also criticized for not taking adequate measures to prevent such frauds. And lastly, it is a reputation damage. The fraud had a significant impact on PNB's reputation, and it led to a downgrade of the bank's credit rating. The bank's stock also lost 50% of their value on the Bombay Stock Exchange within 2 months of the fraud report. Okay, next, I'm going to talk about the causes of the problem. Firstly, it is weak internal control system. The fraud was possible due to the weak internal control system of PNB. The bank's employees did not follow the standard operating procedures, and there was a lack of oversight and monitoring. And secondly, the lack of accountability. The case also highlights the lack of accountability in PNB's management. The bank's senior management did not take responsibility for the fraud, and they blamed the junior employees for the lapse. And then inadequate training. The employees of PNB were not adequately trained to detect and prevent fraud. There was also a lack of awareness among the employees about the risks associated with the SWIFT system. Okay, so we'll move on to the potential risks of the decision or strategies made by PNB. The decision or strategies made by PNB's management to address the fraud can lead to potential risks. So firstly, centralization of tasks. The centralization of certain tasks can lead to a lack of accountability and oversight. It can also lead to delays in decision-making and increase the risk of errors. Secondly, withdrawal of branch powers. The withdrawal of branches' powers to approve credit can lead to a lack of flexibility and autonomy. It can also lead to delays in loan processing and increase the risk of errors. And lastly, senior managers' exclusive use of SWIFT. The exclusive use of SWIFT by senior managers can lead to a lack of transparency and accountability. It can also increase the risk of errors and fraud. Okay, so what needs to be done to solve those problems? To solve the problems highlighted in the case, PNB needs to take the following measures. Firstly, strengthen internal control system. PNB needs to strengthen its internal control system to prevent fraud. This can be done by implementing standard operating procedures, increasing oversight and monitoring, and providing adequate training to employees. And then increase accountability. PNB's management needs to take responsibility for the fraud and increase accountability. This can be done by conducting an independent investigation, taking disciplinary action against the employees involved, and implementing a system of checks and balances. And then improve transparency. PNB needs to improve transparency in its operations to restore investors' confidence. This can be done by providing regular updates on the progress of investigation, implementing a system of internal audits, and increasing disclosure requirements. Okay, so lastly, we'll talk about the conclusion. In conclusion, the PNB fraud case highlights the importance of having strong internal control system, accountability, and transparency in banking operations. The case also highlights the needs of adequate training of employees to detect and prevent fraud. PNB needs to take several measures to address the problem highlighted in the case and restore investor confidence. By implementing these measures, PNB can prevent such fraud in the future and regain its reputation as a trustworthy bank. Okay, that's all from me. I'm Kemal Murtada, and thank you very much for your attention.